Now I'm fascinated to know how that young man who had been abused and made to feel worthless, how you found yourself in this new regime, this new way of thinking.
What I'll start with was as a child in my teenage years, under my father's rule, life was full of exercise and full of activity, which looking back, I'm very, very, very grateful for. Um, at the time, I resented it. I would rather have been playing computer games or hanging out with friends, doing nothing at all, basically, kicking cans down the street type stuff. And I wasn't. I was out doing exercise, which when I then was gifted the uh, the award of independence when I went to university at 18,
Yeah.
meant that I went the opposite direction. That I stopped exercise. That I became far more sedentary and shunned it. Really, I didn't want to know. I didn't want to take anything up myself, and I spent a few years really. Not looking after my health physically, mentally, or emotionally, being very sociable a lot, but with socializing in university comes spending a lot of time in the pub,
Yeah.
which is destructive in its own.
Um, Bought that T-shirt, my friend. Yes.
You know what it's like.
Oh, yes.
So I left exercise behind. Um, And it wasn't really until I'd left university and started practicing professionally as a physiotherapist that I started to feel that I needed something more. And initially, exercise wasn't something that was on the horizon as glaringly obvious.
But what were you craving? What was it that you felt you lacked?
I think it was spirituality. It was a connection to something more. So I started through wanting to meditate.
Yeah.
I tried teaching myself to meditate, and I'd done guided meditations, and I started going to yoga classes a couple of times, and none of it was clicking for me. It was quite a difficult year, that year of learning, and it was prompted by becoming a professional physiotherapist, working at frontline NHS, and suddenly having a huge amount more stress than I'd had previously. University can be stressful. Writing dissertations and
Oh,
doing
yeah.
stressful, but that stress is broken up by, you know, a huge social group and quite a lot of free time.
Yeah.
Doesn't compare to 40 to 60 hours a week in a hospital.
No, that's true.
And dealing with the public's crises effectively is what you're doing in the acute hospital on a revolving door basis.
Right.
Energy from a person, especially a young person who hasn't really had the training emotionally or mentally to deal with that sort of stress. And I was searching for something, and eventually I saw Tai Chi class poster, and I thought I'll try that. And here I am 11 years later. I've been studying Tai Chi and Qigong for all that time since that first poster was read and that first class was attended. And as I said before, what Tai Chi and Qigong gave me was the ability to turn off the mind and come into a flow state, a meditative state, a relaxed state. Really from there it built, and what it moved from was a soft mindful movement exercise towards building a strong body and mind through more than just the soft movements, but through physical conditioning, strength training, and discipline and dedication to the practice. So
That is
make
profound.
daily, and I went from a chubby child to a active adolescent who resented it, to a student who did almost no exercise, to a young man with a big disc herniation living with chronic pain in my early 20s because of that lack of activity for about 5 years, to what I am now, which is fit and healthy and strong and able to lift weights and able to do the splits and handstands and all these sort of movements and exercises and positions that I could never have dreamed of, through the dedication and through the practice and through the exploration and the research of these art forms, which in itself is a really enjoyable journey.
Fantastic, my friend. That's brilliant. But I think you're being very humble, because I think in many ways the other things that I would say that it's done for you is it's provided you with a degree of resilience that you may not have had in the past to deal with, the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune. I think the other thing that I notice is it's given you a very strong sense of calm and peace and just being at one with everything going on around you. And that is such an attractive thing for people these days when life is just so chaotic. And to be able to be the calmest person in the room, I think is hugely powerful. And kudos to you for that. One
Yeah.
final question before we part company is, have you any lessons that you could impart to our viewers just now as to the benefits that you've gained from Qigong and your life experiences? Have you got any thoughts that you could impart that can help our viewers to learn a little bit more about their place in life?
Sure. Number one principle of Qigong, Tai Chi, or really any of the martial arts, the way I was taught would be letting go, learning to let go. Whether that means physically, emotionally, mentally, it's the whole picture. What we do to release, to stop that holding on feeling, that tension, that focus in the wrong directions. By performing these practices, by repeating these practices and these methods, we teach our bodies, our mind, and our spirit to let go of attachments, and unwanted connections and tension, which is very, very useful. And if we're looking from a bullying perspective, letting go of that, letting go of what happened to us in the past and stepping forward, we're no longer there, we're somewhere else. What's happening in the present moment may feel similar, but it's something very different to what's happening in the past. And to let go of that and to step into the present, but then also to let go of the present too, is really powerful and profound. And it happens quite quickly through Qigong practice. It happens quite quickly. I say quickly, I'm talking weeks or months.
Compared to lifelong suffering, I think that's a small price to pay.
Sometimes even the first session, but to apply it daily, it takes more dedication in training. And the second thing I will say is now on training, where we're at now with training. What is it to be a man? Well, we are given these physical bodies, these very strong bodies that are able to take quite a lot of physical punishment and able to achieve feats of labor on a daily basis. And if you look at some people, they're able to achieve incredible feats. We look at free divers that can dive hundreds of meters and hold their breath for minutes at a time, up to 10 minutes sometimes, some of these guys. Or we look at strong men who can lift 2 or 3 times their body weight.
Yeah.
Our bodies can do these amazing things when we apply certain methods, certain techniques, and certain mindset to them. Any of our bodies can. They're all designed to do this. Or even these instances that we hear of mothers whose child is trapped under a metal beam and suddenly they have the strength to rip this beam off the floor. This goes deeper than the physical body. So this is something extraordinary. Sometimes we may call something like that farmer strength. This ability to just lift things without training or beyond the capability of the physical body. And within the martial arts, the Chinese martial arts, we have this concept of yin and yang, which you may have heard of, the white and black symbol. That if you notice the yin and the yang, one side white, one side black, but the white side also has a black and the black side also has a white, which denotes that yin and yang are part of one. And within yang, there is yin, and within yin, there is yang. And yang is expansive, is external, can be seen as physical strength and power. And yin is internal, can be seen as soft, coming inwards. So when we look at our training from a yin and yang perspective, our yang is building a strong body. Our yang is building strength and dynamism and explosiveness. And our yin is coming within. It's about cultivating breath. It's about cultivating the mind. It's about deeper states of meditation and stillness and softness and subtle movements. Now, to go deep on the yin scale, to go deep into the psyche, into the spirit, what we say in these methods, I would say that the side of strength and expansiveness and explosiveness.
Okay.
So to build a strong mind, we need a strong body. The mind is the yin, right? The body is the yang. So we do these movement and strength methods. We push our bodies to its limits, like the free diver, like the heavy weightlifter. When we build a strong body and we challenge our body, because that's what our bodies are designed to do, is to move and lift and carry and push and pull and dance and sing and jump, all these things, whether they seem mundane and normal or amazing, are things the body can do. And when we push these to the limits, we can then take what we've learned, because it takes a strong mind to push the body to those limits. We can take that and apply that to the yin, build the strong yang, and we can apply that to the yin, to the mind and to the spirit, to overcome daily problems, struggles.
By enhancing the body and improving your skills of bodily control, that has the secondary effect of improving your thought processes, your clarity, your attention to detail, and all the other things that I think any man would value in a cerebral process. Did I get that right?
Exactly. Yeah.